Hey, how's it going, everybody? Um, I've thought about this idea. I feel like for those, there are those who are very nice, and I feel like there are people who they are so nice that are are considered selfish. I mean, selfless, and that they don't give to they don't give to everybody because they don't give to themselves. And I feel like sometimes that you can be so selfless that you harm yourself and those around you. And that's why I think it's good to be, even though there are people who are very nice and they're very kind and they just want to help people. And I know I have this, and I've had this before. Um, I think it's good to have a good balance because you can't be sitting here saying like, everybody else matters. I'm like, that's great, but the thing is that if you be so selfless, you're so selfless. You've never heard of the idea of selfish. You just can't help yourself. You're not helping everybody. You're not because you are also included in everybody. And you have to be kind to you too. You can't be selfless. Can't be, oh yeah, let me just love people, love everybody. And I'm like, that's great to love people and attempt to love everybody, but even then, sometimes there are people who just don't want they don't want you. They don't want your help. They don't want your kindness. They don't want any of that. And some people, sorry, I saw something. Some people are they are so willing to be selfish, and maybe it's selfish in their trauma, whatever the case may be. But they'll make fun of you. Maybe you're being too soft. Maybe you're being a little strange. According to like a, by comparison to everybody else, you might be different, and that could be seen as strange. But the thing is, yes, everybody's strange. Everybody has their little quirks and stuff that they want to not show to everybody else or differentiate themselves from other people. But eventually, when you get older, it's just like you continuously live this life, and you're like, okay, does this stuff really matter? In this age of society, like it gets a little boring. I'm pretty sure living life and doing the same thing and attempting to just make peace with people, or trying to get people to like you and stuff like that. I'm sure that gets very, very, very boring. Um, so I just want to encourage people. I'm watching this video. It's got Jim Carrey in it, and this I guess the guy's name is Mr. Pickles, and he's going through this life and divorce and stuff. I just watched it, but I want to grab some food, so I'm going to pause it. But it made me think about that. I'm like, imagine people, because it made me think about folks like Robin Williams, and I'm pretty sure there's plenty of other people. I'm a sensitive person. I like to help people, but I understand that if you can't help yourself, then you're doing yourself a disservice. And it's not just being selfish, because being too selfless and considering yourself to be selfish isn't really being selfish. It's just being a little bit balanced. It doesn't mean you're selfish, because how could you be selfish? Selfishness is actually what it really means is that you think of yourself abnormally high. You think you have too much self-importance. I think that's arrogance, but it's like you prioritize yourself too much in a way that is inappropriate. And so if you're too selfish, I mean too selfless, sorry, if you're too selfless, you tend to neglect yourself. And this is why you see a lot of people who are very nice, very passive, and they're out of shape, and they don't have any assertiveness. That's why when you go to a psychologist or a therapist or a counselor, they give you assertiveness training. Essentially what that means is that you taught to stand up for yourself, taught to have your own opinion, have some self-worth, some self-value, and tell yourself like, no, actually I don't want to do that. And you don't have to be mad, you don't have to explode on them. You just have to tell them, in your own way, your own words, no, I don't really want to do that. I don't feel comfortable. And for those, and as these coaches and stuff tell you and stuff like that, and I say go to the professionals. It's going to take some time for people to get used to that kind of person, because people can't be used to just taking advantage of people, and it's not right. But that's how it works for people. People can be very used to certain things. And your brain is very good at kind of like following the path of least resistance. So instead of fighting for somebody, that'd be too much to do. So it's like, if even if it came with things like attention seeking, might be not, it might be easier to just be nice to somebody because they give you attention or something like that, and versus just be like, telling them all the work, all the stuff. And I used to be a person who just over explain things too, but it's like in regards, sorry, I want to backpedal a little bit. It's like for some people, they'd be like, yo, instead of just telling you, I don't really like you like that, but I do like all the attention you give me and stuff like that. A lot of people just kind of act it out, and they don't really explain too much. And for a nice person, and I hate this idea about the nice guy because, or the nice girl, I get the idea behind it that people just get upset and they get very entitled and they have this idea that just being nice entitles them certain things. But I do want to let you know that like there's no such thing as a person who's just nice and they don't want anything. And I don't mean it in a sense of just like, oh, they're always using your friendship for sex. I am suggesting is that there's people who value very highly nice, being kind and nice, but that means all you forget that these are people, So these people have wants and desires. They're not just they may. You can also live. And this is something I can't stand with our culture because it's so this or that, so binary. Sorry, my hands are ashy. But they it's just so strange to me because they say, "Oh, you're a nice guy. He's just using you for sex." It's like, no, you can be a person who likes being very nice to people, and at the same time, like that same person you being nice to, and at the same time, just like being nice to people, and you don't have any attraction to them. Sometimes you just like being nice. Um, and even worse, because again, let's start using our thinking caps. There's also that kind that do think, yes, kindness will eventually lead to something, lead to a relationship, lead to sex, lead to whatever. But it's not just that. I can't stand it when I hear that because it just it just generalizes people and it harms people. It don't, and it sucks because when we keep living on this autopilot life, we don't use our brains, we don't think about stuff. We just assume things are supposed to just happen, and it sucks because people just we forget. We think, oh, only certain individuals have a very complex and nuanced life when it's everybody. We all have complex and nuanced lives. We all want to be loved and love people. We all want to treat people right. Um, we all want to defend ourselves, but we all are different and we all have different predispositions, things we start off with, things we are based off our past, we end up being. And sometimes our communication isn't so clear. Sometimes we just can't be the people we believe we should be or believe we really want to be. And so I don't know. I think I think that's it. I don't want to say that because I feel like there's more to be said, but there's always more to be said. I do want to let people know it's just like with people who are just nice, it's just unfortunate. I don't just want to give this as a justification for nice people because as nice as people can be, uh, I do believe people need to really take responsibility for their empathy and take responsibility for their own lives because empathy is great. I love the idea of empathy. I do love the idea of empathy. I do think people need to be more empathic. But at the same time, just like the people who are out here who are very, they take initiative, they are very, I guess some people are intuitive, but it's just good to just do your best and just get out there, hit the ground, hit the ground running, and I I think it's just I don't know. I feel like that's it. Just do your best, man. Like be smart, be wise. You know, uh have a good heart, but be smart. Don't just give to everybody, not have enough for yourself. It's not selfish for you to think about yourself. You gotta have some balance. Can't just be out here saying I'm very selfish and I just care only about myself. You can't be like I'm super empathic and I only care about other people. Eventually those two are just gonna hit like very negative spots, So I just want people to just be smart, be wise, be kind, be good, uh, and just do their best to be responsible people. All right, I guess that's it for me.